I want to show you a drill that has a huge influence on the pelvis, the feet, and the abdominal wall in the frontal plane. This is more so a reconditioning drill, as I'm showing you right now, although it would be easy to increase the mass and increase the speed to make it more of a performance-based drill. What I'm going to do is load the ViPR on the body in a front carry position. The action is going to be a frontal plane hip sway. So in order for me to explain this, I'm going to use my right foot as the lead foot. And all you would do is take a small step to one side. The action is going to be through the hips. So what the hips do is they start to transfer and they start to shift towards my right. What you're going to notice as a result of is that the ViPR, in this case, starts to dip towards the left. Now, a lot of people make the mistake of thinking that it's the ViPR or the shoulders that are initiating the action of the drill, which is incorrect. It really is the hips that are driving in the frontal plane, and my shoulders and ViPR are actually moving as a result of what the hips are doing. So in this case, if I just take a snapshot of what's happening in my body right now, and then I come back, in this position right here, let me put the ViPR down. In this position right here in the hips, I have a concurrent stretch of the adductors on one side of my body and the abductors on the other side of my body, which means my adductors and my lateral hip glutes are loading at the same time. They have a very deep-rooted functional relationship. Add to that, as I load this and my pelvis starts to swing in the frontal plane, because my adductors on this side are getting a stretch, there is a distinct and important fascial relationship between my adductors and the pelvic floor. And so if I can put a little bit more traction on these adductors and I can mobilize the pelvis on this side as well, what's in the middle of all that is the pelvic floor. And if I can start to distract all the tissues around it, that distraction force is going to go right into the pelvic floor, and it's going to make the pelvic floor stronger. Because if I can add a little bit of traction, that's going to add a physiological load on the pelvic floor, and what's going to happen as a result is more collagen will be laid down because of the fibroblasts are going to recognize all this force, and the result is they lay down more collagen in the extracellular space. So what I'm doing right here is I'm driving a reaction to increase frontal plane stability by increasing the load of the adductor to getting more of the pelvic floor stronger and more dynamic, and concurrent to that, I'm actually loading the lateral hip, which is making me stronger, more stable in the frontal plane. So this particular reconditioning drill has huge benefits as it relates to the function of the lumbopelvic hip complex into the foot and right into the thoracic spine and neck. So if I wanted to switch sides, I would simply hold the ViPR high in through the shoulders. My left foot now is in motion. My pelvis on the right side dips, and it looks very similar to the dipping pattern in the ViPR, and then I come back. And I would repeat this particular pattern a number of different times on each side, depending on what my goal is. The key is, for this particular drill, that it is the pelvis that guides the motion on either side. When that happens, I start to influence all of the structures around the hips, as well as influencing the motion of the hips, so I can get a better transfer into function.